Good morning, Sumit on this side. So this is the second video in our series. This one is going to be a little bit about the introduction to vibe coding, like what is it or how I perceive it. And then we are going to go into a live app. So we are going to create this idea that I shared. So I want a product, just to reiterate, where we can download existing data that is available either through an API or that it is downloadable. We simply download it and it will have a downloader integrated in the product, in the app, and then you can browse through the data just like any like tabular data browser. In like the aim is to be as good in like UI as say Airtable is. Like, of course, it'll be hard to get really to that level, but that's like having a goal, right? And then we're going to try three, maybe two, three different approaches to how to build. This first approach today will be just setting a prompt and not tweaking the product description much. So I'll set this one prompt and I'll just test what it is creating. If I don't like it or if there are bugs, I'm going to create further prompts, but that is to fix the problems, not to improve the original prompt. So the original prompt is just like one paragraph description, and I tried this yesterday. I'm going to show you today. This video will be cut because of course it takes quite a while. In the first part of the video, I'll show you how much time it takes, and it asks for a few permissions. So I'll show you that. And we are going to use Gemini today, but we are going to mix between a few tools. But today, let's stick with Gemini. But what I mean by cut is that because it takes a while, considerable amount of time for it to produce the encode, then I'll be cutting the video there, and I'm going to stitch multiple videos into this one video that is chapter 2. Okay, so with this context, now let's see what is vibe coding, right? There are there are many ways. I mean, I guess the Wikipedia is a good place, but of course people have like I see it in a different way. So if I search for vibe coding Wikipedia, oops, sorry, it should be Wikipedia. I'm hoping it'll still give me the right link. Yeah, it did. So this is a style popularized, an AI assisted coding style, a software engineering style rather, right? Popularized by Andrej Karpathy. By the way, great chap. He's a really lovely person. You should watch his videos if you want to dig deeper into the subject of large language models. He's just such a fantastic person. Lovely educator, I would say. Also, he was, I believe, one of the founding team members in OpenAI. Okay, so it describes a fast, improvisational, collaborative approach to creating software, right? So you improvise, you iterate, right? This is something I personally like. I have this whole thesis around improvement-driven development because I have been working for the past few years without having goals. I don't put goals. I improve upon what I have. So I'm still chasing targets, but the target is just to improve what I have. So improvise, improve. Here, of course, this is improvise, as in you just go with the flow. And my structure is improvement driven development. They kind of align very well because you just improvise, Okay, collaborative, you're working with the large language model. Fast, because you get a lot of code very fast, right, compared to if you asked me as an engineer to develop the same, right, or any other engineer for that matter. Human engineers, like, we cannot type out simply that fast. It's not possible. It's just not possible, the speed at which you get the code. But remember one thing is very critical with AI development or AI based coding or AI based software development is that you get 10x, let's say, the speed of code being generated, but that also means you get 10x the bugs, 10x the errors, the mess, or like the big design picture like totally gone wrong. Yeah, that would also be multiplied 10 times, right? Because you're doing everything fast. A good analogy for this is that think of we wanting to build a house, right? If we want to build a house which will have 6 stories tall, like 6 stories basically, like how tall we want it to be, and if we do the foundation incorrect, of course the whole thing just falls apart, right? Now do this at 60 stories and you can imagine where this is going, right? So 6 stories you can still make some mistakes and maybe still fix something. 60 stories you cannot afford to make mistakes. Like, it's just going to be complete disaster. So what you do at with a human interaction based system. Like if I want to build software, if I'm asking a human being to, hey, come and develop this with me, I'm going to be your product manager, project manager, or client, whatever, right? And you are going to be the engineer. It's a slower pace compared to what nowadays we are doing with AI, right? AI is much faster pace at building, but it does not necessarily mean that it knows the best way, the correct way to build things. It just, you could say, it just composes a lot of things that it sees. So of course large language models are basically word prediction systems. So it has seen like a lot of data, a lot of code out there. It sees that, okay, you want to build X, I've seen patterns of X, let me, whichever other programming languages also, by the way. So it could have seen X pattern in other languages, other frameworks, etc. It'll try to combine them for you into your preferred, however you are building this now, right? And that's happening at a very fast pace. Yes, that's true. But at the same time, it doesn't really know the decisions. It's just predicting the next word, simply the words. Remember, it's only predicting words. It does not have a coherent view of like, oh, this is the big picture, I need to know where authentication has to happen, I need to know this. It's just picking these patterns as it has seen in code. So as it is building code, the next word in the code is simply by referring to what existing code it has seen and what it has built till now, and your, of course, your context, your prompt, right? So you can imagine there's a big opportunity for mess to come out, and it does. We'll go through those examples. I have clear examples where I'm like, wow, okay, this is not going to work, right? So that's okay, that happens. But at the same time, like I said, this is going to be a hands-on approach. Also the video like series is not very structured, so we're going to do a deep dive into, let's start software development with AI, and then we will simply see how can we get better at it. That's it, right? So first attempt we are going to take today, and I'm going to show you what I took yesterday night, is like one shot, just one shot. I just made one paragraph prompt. So let's look at it. Let's look at the actual prompt. So I already have my Gemini running. I'll show you what I had. Yeah, this was my first prompt. Please create an app which allows me to browse Hacker News data from the HN API. HN here is the short form of Hacker News. I was thinking that it will get that. It did, by the way. So it would basically allow me to browse the Hacker News data from the Hacker News API on my computer. The app should be available through my browser on my computer. So just to reiterate that, there should be a downloader with status for all items. Hacker News items. Okay, that's a typo. For all Hacker News items. Anyway, please use shadcn UI component. So this is just a preference. The UI library, I'll show it to you. It looks nice, clean, and kind of, you don't have to do much wrestling. It's just a small project, like, simple project I want to start off with. So this is like a component library where you get all these widgets, these components, and I was like, okay, I just searched a bit what are such UI frameworks, component libraries, whatever you call them. A little bit of search led me to this one a few days back, and I was really happy. I was like, wow, this looks nice, neat, and why not use it? So that's it. That was my prompt. It created something like this. So this was what I got yesterday. It has a downloader. Oh, it's not working right now because I think I killed it. Okay, no, it's working, it's still working. So it has a downloader, and this status that you see, downloaded 0 of 0 items, was not there yesterday. So I'll show it to you. I added this because I thought, okay, that's a bug, because I had clearly asked for a status, right? If you see, there should be a downloader with status. It didn't do that. That's okay. And also this home page I see. So when I refresh, I don't know if my if this is running. Maybe not. Oh, maybe it is running. I'll check that, by the way. So then this home page has no pagination, right? And also it doesn't look like this component thing that I showed you, Shad, right? This does not look like that at all. I'm like, wow, this is just bare bones. This has no design, no UI at all, like no good looking components at all. So I'm not sure where it got lost, but it happens. This happens a lot. Okay, now what did I try to fix? It first of all, it asked for a few permissions. We'll rerun this, by the way, in just in a moment, but first let me go through what I have already done. So it got stuck running a particular command. I stopped it, so pressed escape key, stopped it, and then said please continue where this task got stuck. It got stuck again, so I said I copied the part, so it showed which command it was running on my computer, and I'll show you. If I scroll up, you will see that it shows what it is doing. So read file, right? It shows, for example, shell, this, right? And wherever it gets stuck, I press escape, it cancels it out. So there's a strike through, and I copied that part and I said, hey, you got stuck here twice. Can you see what is going on, right? Please try a different approach, etc. It still kept on getting stuck. Okay, then I said again, this got stuck again. And this happens, by the way. And remember, I'm trying, so my aim here in this video series is to be as non-technical as possible, right? I know what is happening here, by the way. At least I can guess through myself, or I can dig into it myself, but I'm really not going to do that. So I'm not going to get technical with Gemini here. I'm going to simply copy paste, and that's it. Like, I'm going to say, hey, you got stuck here, just like I would have if I have no engineering background. I would have done this with a human engineer, exactly the same, right? So you hand it over to me, I run it on my computer, it gets stuck, I simply copy paste what got stuck. Wherever I find it, I simply send it over to you, and like, hey, this got stuck, that's it. So I kept on doing this. It kind of got to finish it. I could see it on my browser. That was good enough for me. I was like, okay, something is working. Then I saw that there is no download status, and I said, hey, I see the download status. I cannot see the download status because there was no download status, and that can happen. Also, can I resume downloads after restarting my computer or browser? This is also something I noticed. It didn't have a resume. So if I refreshed the page, came back and download, it starts from downloading from 0 items. That, by the way, is something I'll tell you later. Like, to understand that needed a little bit of engineering knowledge, because it was not visible in the UI. So I had to inspect the browser, and we'll get to these details, by the way, in a while. But I had to inspect the browser and see what API calls, what network calls it was making. We'll get there. We'll get there in this video series. So like I said, the whole series is aimed at everybody, right? So we will dig into some of these things, how to make it easy for us to be able to talk to the computer to find out some of these things and share it back with the LLM. Okay, so this was the last prompt. So again, my original description of the product did not change, if you notice, right? I simply kept reiterating where it got stuck. Hey, you got stuck here, or that I didn't see what I had already specified. So the download status was not there. So if I go to the downloader, this part was not there in the original version. It has now added it. Let's try running this. Let's see if it works. Okay. I don't know if it works or not. Yeah, okay. So I'm running this here. By the way, running it will also need some technical knowledge. Remember, even if you're vibe coding, like I said, I'm not looking at the code at all. I have not touched the code, by the way. I don't even know what it has produced, which is totally fine. I can see it on my browser, but to see it on the browser, you still need some knowledge. Like, you'll still need to know what are the tools involved, and you can ask AI to give, you can ask the large language models to give you that documentation so that you can run it locally. We will cover all of those things, but it's important to know that there is always going to be some technical step needed to even get it to be on your computer, like to actually run it and see it on your browser, or on your phone, or whatever else, right? Okay, so this looks, yeah, not like how I wanted it to be. Let's ask it. Now this is how I would ask it. I cannot see the UI. I see, rather I'll say something like this. I see that the UI is nothing like Shadcyan. I guess that's how you pronounce it. It looks pretty blank at the moment. Please fix. Okay, so here is a good test that when I ask it, it takes some time, right? And I'll be cutting this video very soon, just so that we are not recording it taking its time, and it takes a while, quite a while. It'll figure out, it'll give you something. Yeah, you are absolutely right. My apologies. This application is functional, but it's missing aesthetic, blah blah blah, and I'll let it fix. Okay, so yeah. Okay, it took some time and came back. Also, by the way, I'm using the free tier of Gemini CLI only, so I don't have a paid account. I have a paid account with Claude. We'll use that, and we'll switch at some point. But yeah, it created this, then it got stuck. It told me that it got stuck because I ran out of free credits. That's okay. That's a known issue because I'm simply not paying for it right now. So there's a certain amount of limits, and this is something that I'm absolutely suggesting everybody, do not start paying unless you have tried a few tools, tried building code, and then finally you are settled on one of the tools. Okay, so this is, so then I switched to it automatically switched to, by the way, Gemini. I think it switched from the Pro to the Flash model, so it has Gemini 2.5 Pro and 2.5 Flash, which is okay for me because it almost finished it. So then the last part of it was, I think it just needed to, I don't know, do a minimal amount of code. I don't even know what it did, and at this moment I don't care, like I said. So let's refresh, and it still has not done it, which is okay. This will happen, and this is why I want to show this, because this is reality. This is exactly how some of these things work. They do work, but they don't fully work, and you will feel struggling, you'll feel frustrated. It's okay, it's part of the whole thing. Okay, so at least the download status is working, which is nice. It has 44 million items. Yeah, that looks about right. 44 million items on the Hacker News API, and it's downloading up to 30. Let me refresh. Let's see if, wow, nice. So it says resume download, so it starts from 37. Really lovely. See, this part it got right, and that's what I'm saying. It's not that everything goes haywire, it's not that everything goes wrong, and it's also not that everything comes out like, wow, I am like stunned. Sometimes you are, by the way, sometimes we are surprised, sometimes we are not. This part I really like, that it could figure it out, it could finish it, and it's working. I can even close the browser and try it. Let's see. So I closed my Firefox. I'm going to open it again just to see. I'm guessing it'll work because, closing a browser and refreshing a browser in this case are pretty much the same things, I guess. So yeah, it's working. It resumes from 43. Awesome. I really like this. So this is nice. So I refresh the page, stops downloading. I go back. It comes to home page. I had to refresh, I guess, whatever. Maybe this URL thing is not so nice that it does not automatically show me the data when I come to home page. Those are minor things we can edit. That's the whole point, right? You can fix, you can ask, you can fix, you can ask, you can fix. At some point there will be more technical details coming in, and we'll cover them, but at least this, it got done without me being involved in the code at all, Okay, so now just for context, again, we are not supposed to do this, but just for those curious and like, okay, Sumit, this is all nice, but I want to know if the code is a mess. Let's just glance through it. So it is a fresh project. This is, I'm guessing, Next.js. I don't even know. So I just know Next. Yeah, this is Next.js. So this is Next.js. I don't work with Next.js, by the way, but I, generally an idea. So this is Next.js. So this is created with React. I'm guessing all React. So here I should see React. Yes, I see React in the dependencies. All good. Then again, I'm not trying to be, I'm not even caring about the quality of the code at this moment. If it runs, it's good enough for me. So I know a lot of people will be like shouting at me for saying that, but yeah, it's okay. Let's try to embrace what we have and improve. That has always been my philosophy. I think this is such an empowering tool, right, that we can get all of this done without putting in all the effort. I'm happy that we are here. We are here at this stage where code pops out without me knowing the code, without me like, what is .txx? I don't know. Let's say I don't know, and that's amazing, right? We have come to this, let's say, stage in software engineering, and I think that's amazing. So all this code looks good, bad, whatever, ugly, I don't know really. I have no idea where it starts from because I cannot figure this out. I have never worked with Next.js, so yeah, whatever. It works. That's what it matters. I see a downloader. I see a downloader page. I am curious right now. Again, I should not be curious from that engineering mindset, but I'm curious, where is he storing the data? I cannot really. Oh, local storage. I see local storage. So it's storing in the browser. I'm guessing this local storage means in the browser, which is great. 44 million entries in the browser. We'll see. At some point, maybe I'll just keep it downloading overnight, and we'll see what happens. But yeah, that was a quick glimpse. I'll cut here, and then we'll do another one of the same thing, but with Claude Code. Okay, so we got that. Now we are going to restart this with Gemini, and then we're going to restart this with Claude Code, just to see the comparison like between them. I have copied the prompt. I have already, so if you refresh this will not work because I've already removed the folder. Now what we're going to do is just restart this with Gemini, and while it is doing, I'll go on to back to the introduction to vibe coding, just where we left off. Okay, so How did I initiate? I created this git init. You don't always have to know all of these commands. By the way, we'll get to them. Right now you may not know. You can just also create just a folder, like however you create a folder, that's also fine. Here I'm using git as the mechanism to store the source code of the software. We'll get to all of those things but yeah, that's just the command to do that. I do this, then I open I do cd, so I go into this directory. I do Gemini. Oh, we ran out of tokens. Sorry. Let's not do Gemini right now. We'll come back to Gemini in a later video. Let me figure out how to, either I pay for it or something like that. But let's try Claude. That's also okay. We are going to see same prompt, no changes. I'm just going to remove these weird characters that came, and I'm going to remove this one typo. I am sure it does not change so much. So there should be a downloader with status for all Hacker News items. Please use this. Done. That's it. Let's go. Okay, so while it is doing, you can read what it is doing. I'm going to also go back to us, discussing, like us talking about the introduction to vibe coding. So like we saw with the page on Wikipedia, so it's a fast, improvisational, collaborative approach to creating software where the developer and the large language models tuned for coding. So the large language model is tuned for coding. This is also important. Are acting like pair programmers, right? In a conversational loop. So pair programming is when, let's say, me and another engineer, me and another developer, we are talking, we are discussing, we are brainstorming. You could also do, like, you don't always have to, like, for pair programming, it's not necessary that two people have to be of the same experience level. You could be junior, senior. I have done it even with like semi-technical product managers who can just look into code, and that's good enough, because sometimes you just want to brainstorm higher level concepts. That's also okay. Of course, some like pair programming generally means that you are actually coding, but yeah, basically for me what is important is that you have another person, another pair of eyeballs, another person to think through, etc., and that's what matters, and that you are building the software. So that's the important part. It's not like they are giving you the requirements and then letting you be. It's like you are iteratively building the software, actually step by step going through. Like I show something, hey, here is the thing, and he or she shows me something, here is the thing, right? And then we collaboratively work, or we are probably contributing code to the same project together. That's all. To me, that's all pair programming in a way. But yeah, the stricter definition is to actually contribute code into the same project together. Okay, so this feels like that, right? So it's asking me, hey, I want to run this command. I'm going to simply go ahead and say yes. There are certain commands which I'm totally fine with it running as many times as it needs to. So I say yes, and then I say yes, and then there is an option to like save that option. I will come and I'll show it to you. These commands, by the way, I'm not even seeing what it is running. Remember, when you're running either of these similar agents, Claude Code, Gemini CLI, I believe Open Code, I believe OpenAI Codex, etc., they all run in this thing we call a terminal. So terminal is like a text mode way to access your computer, and on this same terminal the software is running. The software also has access to all the software that is installed. Generally we are not talking about graphical software that is installed. Like I'm not talking about Word, Excel, I don't know, you may have I don't know, Final Cut Pro or whatever else. We're not talking about those. Yeah, sure, those can probably also be accessed, but I'm talking about, so here I'm going to give, by the way, sorry to interrupt, I'm going to give full permission to run any of these, npx is in bold, any of the npx commands in that folder. So that's it, because I don't want it to keep on asking. So yeah, the whole point is that it will have access to these commands. For example, npx is a command because it comes with something that I've already installed, and we'll get to those software, but in short, it's Node.js, is a JavaScript. Like how do you run JavaScript on your computer, not in your browser but on your computer, and that's the way. And yeah, so it has access to those tools. So Claude Code, Gemini CLI, any of these, they are also tools. They're also applications, but they have access to other applications which you have installed on your computer, right? So how to run JavaScript, how to run Python, how to run, I don't know, Rust in my case, Rust, or many other such things, right? How to download a web page, how to open another web page and get some data out of it, how to maybe interact with the database you may have already installed, etc., etc., etc. It can go ahead and do these things. Okay, so it now wants to write files. I'm going to give Claude Code permission. So go ahead, write, and don't ask me again. That's it. Let's go back to our definition. So as we have understood, right, it's a collaborative approach. This is what you're seeing, this collaboration happening right now in this video. And this is the approach. This earlier, like, of course, even now you can do it, but instead of doing it with a human being, you're doing it basically with the large language model. That's the main difference. It's still collaborative. You're still pair programming. It will ask you if it gets stuck at certain points. Maybe some tool is not accessible to it, etc., etc. Or you have a bug. You point the bug at Claude Code or at Gemini CLI. All of those to me are like pair programming, right? The broad definition of pair programming. But of course, with humans, it's a little more like I'm a programmer, you're a programmer. We code together. This is not the case. I'm not coding at all in this case. It's still a collaborative approach, but it's not like I'm coding anymore. I'm not really coding, which is fine for the broader definition of pair programming. So yeah, that's, to me, that's like the broad definition of vibe coding, that I'm working with another agent, another person. In this case, like, okay, I'm not a person, but another tool behaves like a person. Sorry, that's what I meant. Behaves like a person. I can give this tool instructions. I can see the output. I can see it on my browser. I can see the source code also if I want to. Most of the time I don't want to. And we'll get to how do you go around not making a mess out of your code base. We'll get to that. But yeah, overall, this to me is vibe coding. This to me is also pair programming in a broad sense. And this is what is happening. So as you can see, all the code is being written. By the way, I can go into this folder. I can open the editor for you, and you'll see that, okay, this is a totally different like file structure maybe, which is okay. I don't care. It created a folder within the folder. The one with Gemini CLI didn't have that, which is also okay. This is also built with Next, by the way, which is interesting. Same tools that they are using. All fine, all good. I'll let it finish, and we'll cut now and come back after it is done. Hey, so we are back. Claude Code has finished doing whatever it was doing. I don't know. Like I said, let's run this. So how do we run this? So the app is running. According to Claude Code, the app is running. I can just copy paste this and put it into my browser. Let's see if it works. And no, I've seen this twice now. I don't know why it happens that it says it is running, but it is not. So I have to go into this folder. I have to figure out how to run this. Again, like I said, you can use the readme. Oh, interestingly, it has created a readme. So we can use our editor, open the readme, and it should tell me how to do this. Okay, so go into the folder npm run dev, and it should work. Let's see. Again, some of these things will need some technical knowledge. Need some, like as you do it, as you practice, you will get to know that, okay, yeah, I can do it this way, I can do it that way, and that will help you like also debug errors. Like when you get stuck into things, how do you fix errors and all, this will all help you. Let us see, moment of truth. It looks so much nicer. That's really interesting. And it has a download data. Wow, it also has max items to download, batch size. So how many is it downloading? Let's go for it. Let's just download. Let's see. So stored items is 0. Let's see if it increases. I have no. Okay. Wow. 100 items just done. By the way, I don't have a fast internet. I live in a small village in the Himalayas. Really a small village. It's surprising that we have as good internet as we have here. It's really tiny. You will not find the village on the map almost. Okay, you will. Okay, it's working well. So I'll stop this here. Wow, nice. Wow, this is already such a cool browser. It has comments, it has stories, all of this. Wow, I love it. And it has shown me the points. It has shown me how many comments it has. Wow. Okay. This, if you can get done in just that one prompt, I think it proves the point. It proves the point that you can go you can build so many, if nothing else, prototypes, right? fantastically fast, build prototypes, get it out there to people, talk about it, etc., etc. And you can see where this is going. Of course, we are going to build much more concrete software out of this and be able to have them like shareable, be able to have them be downloadable for everybody with documentation and stuff like that. This software will become like really cool. We'll get there, but as you can see, this was just one prompt, and I don't know, I waited for maybe 10 minutes and it is done. Nice. So I guess this brings me to the last part of this video, this chapter. This is chapter 2, is that you got an idea now, right? So we used two different tools, we created the same things, we used the same prompt. Okay, I would not even say it's a prompt, because it's just this is where, by the way, everything is a prompt to the AI. Yeah, for sure, to the large language models, whatever you type into that chat box and send to it is a prompt. But to me, prompt is a little more like when you decorate the subject matter with things around it so that it is more understandable for it. Like, okay, this is an instruction, this is what you have to do. Here we did not do that. We simply said, this is what I want, go ahead, figure out and build something for me. So to me, that's still a prompt, but that's more like, yeah, that's how I would describe it to also a human being. Is that also a prompt nowadays? No, it's not. So yeah, there's that slight difference here. Like there's that thin line between these two things. What I described, what you saw here, just to see this again, this is just if I am supposed to send this out to a freelance website where developers are bidding for it, this is exactly how I would describe. Maybe I'll make it a little longer, maybe more descriptive, maybe more like parts I'll dig into the project, like, hey, have this navigation, top bar, blah blah blah. I didn't do that, but this came out just with this much description. We tried with two tools and we saw what we got. That is in essence to me vibe coding, right? I did not dig in, particularly with Claude Code. I did not have to dig into anything at all. I just launched it on the browser. How did we launch it on the browser? That needs some technical knowledge. We'll come to that. But that's it. I just got a downloader. I got this running. I could browse. Wow. It has already segregated it between stories and comments. So stories are, I don't know. I don't know what to say. Like, if this is already not convincing you to, like, okay, I could also, if I have never coded before, I should not be afraid of jumping. Like, I'm not saying that you can build big applications, production ready applications without knowing any engineering at all. I'm not saying this. By the way, this is why I'm creating this video series. All I'm saying is that this is truly empowering, that I had to describe in human terms, in my just normal native, like, okay, in my case, English is not my native language, but you get the point, in my native language, and I could get this running. This is a viewer for Hacker News data. By the way, I didn't even notice that it even has pagination. Like, I didn't even ask for pagination. It created that. And yeah, what cost, what time, what effort did I put in? Like, time for coffee, that's it. I come back and I get this. This is the main takeaway I want to give you, which will keep us convinced that there is something here. We need to dig deeper, we need to try harder, and we'll get to the point where we can all be able to build small tools, small software. Let's start there, which improves our lives. If that is where we can get to, I think that will be an amazing place to be. Thank you for watching this video.